In the heart of rural India, nestled between lush green fields and winding dirt paths, was a small village named Dharmapur. Known for its age-old traditions, the village thrived in simplicity. It wasn't wealthy in money, but it was rich in values, wisdom, and stories passed down through generations. Among all the villagers, one man stood out, old Ramu, the village's oldest resident. Wrinkled with time but sharp in spirit, he owned something the entire village respected, a mysterious old well behind his house. The villagers called it Jivan Kund, the well of life. The Jivan Kund never ran dry. Even in the harshest of summers, when the rivers shrank and other wells cracked under the heat, Ramu's well remained full, its water cool, clear, and sweet. Some said it was blessed by a saint, others whispered that it had magical properties. But Ramu never allowed anyone to take water from it freely. People had to come to him, ask humbly, and most importantly, answer a question he would ask. Children feared him, while adults respected him. Yet no one ever questioned his conditions, for every person who got water from Ramu's well came back changed. One day, a young man named Vikram, who had just returned from the city, laughed at the idea of the well. All this talk about magic and questions, it's nonsense. He scoffed. Water is water. Vikram believed in logic, science, and above all, success. He had returned to the village not to live simply, but to build a modern farm, use machines, and become rich. But that summer, a drought hit Dharmapur. Crops wilted, rivers dried, wells were empty. The only source of water remained, Jivan Kund. Swallowing his pride, Vikram went to Ramu's house. "Baba," he said, "I need water. My workers are thirsty." Ramu looked at him with calm eyes and asked, "Why do you think your plants are dying?" Vikram frowned. "Because there's no rain." Ramu shook his head and replied, "No. They're dying because you only fed them water, not patience." Vikram didn't understand, but Ramu gave him a pot of water anyway. That night, something stirred in Vikram. He started reflecting. The news spread. Ramu's well was still flowing, and he was still asking questions. Each person who came, rich or poor, got a question tailored to their soul. To a greedy merchant, what weighs more, gold or regret? To a jealous woman, can a tree grow by cutting another's branches? To a child who lied, if you wear someone else's face, how will your mother recognize you? Every question was simple, yet profound. People began not just to come for water, but for wisdom. Ramu had become more than a man. He was a mirror for their inner selves. One day, curious and grateful, Vikram asked Ramu, "Baba, how is your well still full?" Ramu smiled and gestured to a tree nearby. Beneath it was a hidden tank connected to rainwater channels from rooftops. "It's not magic," Ramu chuckled. "I learned how to harvest water decades ago. When others celebrated rains, I stored them." Vikram was shocked. "Why didn't you teach the village?" Ramu sighed. "I tried, but no one listened then. They needed to feel thirst to understand value." Vikram's eyes opened wide, not from surprise, but realization. Then the questions. Ramu said, "The well isn't the only thing that needs filling. Sometimes, minds and hearts must be emptied of pride to receive wisdom." Inspired, Vikram didn't return to the city. Instead, he began a mission. Rainwater harvesting in every home, workshops on sustainable farming, and morning gatherings where Ramu would ask his questions. People began changing, not from lectures, but from inner reflection. They planted trees, stopped wasting water, helped neighbors, and listened more. Children no longer feared Ramu. They sat around him every evening, eager for stories. The village that once chased modernization blindly now embraced balance, between tradition and progress. And the well, it still flowed, not just with water, but with wisdom. Years passed. Ramu grew weaker, and one day he called Vikram. "My time is near," he whispered. "But the well must remain. Not just the one in the ground, but the one we opened in people's hearts." He handed Vikram a small wooden box. Inside was a scroll with just one line. "The one who asks the right questions never runs dry." Ramu passed away peacefully that night. Vikram took his place, not as a wise man, but as a seeker of wisdom, continuing the tradition of questions, watering souls more than fields.